There's actually not been any feedback type event since Call of Duty Next. Just no feedback loop at all for this year, and it shows in the state of the game so far. COD Munity, who's Warzone loadout, they started getting invited to things last year as well, and he said same, not a single briefing call like we used to have last year before every update. So it is definitely just there's nothing happening. You would hear it from somebody, and if they don't do one pre-Verdansk, that's going to be very odd. That's going to worry me lots. If there's one time out of this year you'd think they would do some sort of creator call, it would be 2 weeks before Verdansk drops, right?
We are live, boys and girls. Crapshot, thank you for the prime on Twitch. Welcome to, very kind of you, sir, the Dropshot Call of Duty podcast, episode number 497. My name is Casey, also known as Razinon. Today, I am joined by Tanner.
Yeah.
Do a little nod. Is that a new hat we're rocking, by the way?
Nope.
Okay. Nope. Steel Switch has lied. That's fine.
He asked, and I told him it wasn't.
And I remember that conversation. Welcome to the show.
That was like 20 minutes ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, which is exactly what I remember. Today, we have an episode for you. So, as anticipated, not much going on this week in the Call of Duty world, but we do have some things to say on the new event, the Shadow Hunt event, which unfortunately, none of it's good. We got some new items. So we got the new weapon, the FAL. It's like the TR-69 or whatever in game. I don't know. But it is not very good at all in Warzone. To no one's surprise. So whatever. And then there's a new LMG attachment that I have seen no one talking about. I haven't unlocked it yet. I forgot about it, in fact, so I may or may not have unlocked it, but no one's talking about it or doing anything, so whatever. And the thing I was excited for with the new event was the binary trigger for the Tonto. And I was quite excited for this because that actually increases the fire rate of the Tonto a lot, because the Tonto is full auto, but it's just a very slow fire rate. So I was like, cool. So I unlocked it. And a couple things to note about it. In the simplified view, it says it gives you a binary trigger and has no cons. So I was like, okay, yeah, we're cooking. Then I opened the detailed stats and you lose like 20 damage on every zone. So like it does like 20 less headshot damage, etc. So it's like, okay, cool. So the gunsmith stats are just a fucking joke, right? Because obviously, say lower damage and damage range, because it also lowers that, number one. But okay, it lowers the damage. Maybe it still has a faster time to kill. Well, also, the binary trigger locks you out of using a barrel, which is fine. You can get away with not using a barrel on an SMG, and an underbarrel, which is less fine, because that's your recoil control attachment. Okay, well, if I can't run an underbarrel, I'll just run recoil springs. Well, also you can't, because you're using the binary trigger in the fire mod slot. So you actually can't use any recoil attachments.
Oh, yeah.
Except for a compensator, which does help, but now you can't go silent. You're going loud if you're doing that, which a lot of people are already doing, so maybe not the biggest deal in the world. But even with a compensator, that thing kicks. It be kicking. And it's a binary trigger, so you're going to be like firing semi-auto. So just that combination is not super great. And on top of all of that, the time to kill is not good, so it's not worth it anyway. Because you could do all of that extra shit and make every kill a struggle. Or you could just use a C9 or PPSH and then with extreme ease kill people faster than using the binary trigger. So once again, Call of Duty has thought up a very cool new attachment idea, and it was dead on arrival. Got it. So that sucks. I was quite looking forward to one interesting thing this season. So far, we have not gotten it. Is there still hope with Season 2 Reloaded? No.
I actually thought you were going to say yes, maybe.
No, probably not. Because we went over the Season 2 blog post, right? And
we did.
It had all the new content in it was things we've by now already gotten, I'm pretty sure. There might be one or two more weapons on the horizon, maybe? But we got 3 on launch, and then we got another one now. So I don't know what else we can expect, but at the very most, the only other things we're going to get for Warzone for the remainder of Season 2 are 1 or 2 more guns, which may or may not even be relevant. Now, that's not the end of the world, because they said Season 2 we're focusing on balancing and fixing the bugs and shit. If that were true, then I would be fine with it. But that's not really true.
No, I mean, they lied about that, yeah.
They lied about that as well. Remember when we got the Mountaineer perk and then it worked? Oh, that's right. It still doesn't. No word on that. No comms. Nope. They still let you choose the perk, by the way. If you're not going to fix it, at least take it out of the game.
Yeah.
So that people that don't read fucking blog posts and patch notes, excuse me, even if you do read the patch notes, you wouldn't know it doesn't do shit, actually. So if you're not following fucking Exclusive Ace on Twitter, you're not going to have any idea that Mountaineer doesn't do anything. So you're just wasting a perk slot this whole time because you had the audacity to believe the game functions, which it doesn't. It's just, yeah. So, I mean, again, if they were doing what they said they were going to do for Season 2, then I would be okay with it. But they're not. And a lot of people on the timeline are coming to the same realization. Starting with this first tweet we have here. This is from Charles Intelligence. I just retweeted this, yeah. He tweeted this today, a couple minutes ago, or a couple hours ago. Quote, Warzone is an absolute mess with a joke of an anti-cheat, tons of bugs, and overall mess. And we really got to get Kishov off of Twitter. We got to let someone who can write get in here. Don't say mess twice in one sentence. It bugs me anyway. And the future of Warzone, relying on the upcoming Verdansk release to actually be good with good fixes, does not inspire much confidence considering the track record so far.
2 goods there as well.
Yeah. Yep.
Does that piss you off lots?
Right next to each other.
Twice in 3 words, yes.
Yeah. Yep. Not great. And then Sparrows replied to this saying console-only crossplay solves one of the major issues. And Charlie Intel said the fact that they basically admitted defeat on their anti-cheat by enabling console-only crossplay is embarrassing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we have here 3
That's
tweets.
The thing.
We have 3 tweets. The first one is, my voice just cracked. Good thought, terribly written. The second one, fucking retarded. And then the third one, also good thoughts. The retarded one is obviously Sparrow saying console only crossplay solves one of the major issues. Hey, no, it doesn't. It's exactly what Charlie Intel said. It's admitting defeat. You're just because why does anyone want crossplay off? The only reason you want crossplay off is if cheating is so bad that you want to avoid it.
Yep.
And you're willing to drastically slash the amount of players you could play against to increase the odds you don't have a cheater in your lobby. By the way, you will 6,000 Cronus bought on Amazon in the last 30 days. So you can't escape the cheaters, but they're definitely going to be less of a problem on console. But saying console only crossplay solves that issue is, of course, the exact opposite of what that means. It didn't solve the issue. And this also implies, by the way, imagine you're some guy that has a PC, a gaming PC, and you don't have infinite money like these fucking streamers do. And you can't just go buy a PS5 Pro real quick and set that up to play crossplay off. You didn't solve the problem at all. Like, the average person isn't going to go buy a fucking console if they have a PC and that's what they play on, which is a lot of people, by the way, just to play one video game without cheaters.
Yeah.
So it doesn't even come close to solving the issue. It's a fucking insane thing to say, but yeah.
I've been seeing more things on Twitter too. I wish I had liked them so I could go back to them, but I've seen a few tweets in the last few days that were saying it was clips from somebody who's playing crossplay off ranked play on Warzone, and the whole lobby is console, but there will be like one or two just rage hackers in there. And they're like, obviously there is a way cheaters are still able to get in these lobbies because I am in a console only lobby. I definitely have it set correctly. So it's either a bug or somehow cheaters can find their way in there. And I wouldn't doubt it if a cheat provider has already built something in where they can get in any type of lobby. No idea how they could possibly do that, but I'm sure they can.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty funny. And then the other issue that I keep seeing too with our console ranked is people getting on like 10-man teams. Have you seen that?
Yeah, the Joe tweet.
Yeah.
Yes.
There have been a lot of those since then. There have been lots of those. So people are like, cool, you either play against rage hackers or you play against 3 squads grouped up together. You know, pick which one you'd rather go against, basically.
Right. Yeah.
People always find a way around it.
Yeah. And on the teaming thing, so why is that more prevalent on console only? Well, because if you're queuing for console only, crossplay off, there are way fewer people queuing for that than crossplay on. So if you wanted to team up with someone and you all can turn off crossplay, and then you press 3, 2, 1, queue, and then you alt F4 if you didn't get in this to a lobby at the same time, it would be very easy to queue with whoever you want with crossplay off, like trivially easy. So it makes sense that that is a console specific issue. So it actually is Activision's fault because they wouldn't be having this problem. That would be much harder to do if we went back to forcing crossplay off so that there's a ton of people queuing at the same time. So it's hard to do that. But the only reason they don't do that is because their anti-cheat doesn't work. So ultimately, it kind of actually is Activision's fault. But if we set that aside, that's a hard problem to solve. Mm-hmm. That's a hard problem to solve, honestly. So, yeah, I don't know. But that is funny. It's like pick your poison. Would you rather die to 3 guys blatantly cheating or 9 guys who are not cheating shooting you at the same time?
Yeah.
Have fun.
And to be fair, I'm sure you can play numerous matches in a row on console only ranked and not run into teams or teaming up like that. But you can't play. I can't hop on ranked right now and not run into a rage hacker. It wouldn't be possible. So obviously it's still better.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But,
I think that's true.
It's like, cause even going into season 2, Charlie Intel like kind of had some hope. Not really, but it was more just one of those things like, well, we'll see how this ends up. They claim they're doing nothing but working on the game, and Verdansk is coming in season 3. So, hopefully they do what they're saying, and then they didn't. So we're at that point again in the season where everyone's like, okay, yeah, you're now almost halfway through the season. We're getting real close, and you've hardly fixed anything still. Right.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's weird because they did fix a good number of things on launch of season 2. Not everything they said they fixed, to be clear, but a good number. But then that's all they've done this entire season. Mm-hmm. And they introduced new issues. Mountaineer doesn't work. The audio, they fucked up. It's not terrible on Urzikstan. It is fucking terrible on Area 99. I've confirmed that again, by the way. 1 or 2 days ago, I played Area 99 with Cope for a couple games. Horrendous just no audio, often. It's weird because on Area 99 sometimes you'll hear people extremely well, and then other times you just won't hear them at all. And it's the classic Warzone audio problem where it's like, okay, they're above me on Area 99, I can hear them clear as day. They're below me, I hear them clear as day. They're on my level, silent. Which is the most important time for me to hear someone, arguably. Well, inarguably, actually. So yeah, just terrible stuff. But I mean, yeah, this tweet is exactly how I feel. Warzone is an absolute mess. It is a joke of an anti-cheat. It does have tons of bugs. And the future Warzone relying on the upcoming Verdansk release to actually be good with good fixes does not inspire much confidence, considering the track record so far. I could have said that better myself, but the thought is completely how I feel. Yeah, it's like Verdansk will bring a ton of people back, and then they're all going to be immediately turned off. Because what else are they going to add with Verdansk, by the way? Are we going to get some more new perks? Will they
maybe
be fucking relevant at all?
Yeah.
Will they work? Who knows? However, I will say, if we want to get on a cheery note, real quick, there is a new perk in multiplayer called Slipstream.
Yeah. Which
is now live, and people are quite enjoying this in multiplayer. And I believe that is the perk where you can't tack sprint anymore, but you just move faster.
Yes, so you don't incur the sprint to fire penalty anymore, but overall you move a little bit slower. There was a clip posted by Detonated, I think was the account, and they showed a side-by-side. Probably ran, I don't know, 30 meters or so. However far they ran, with Slipstream, it was like 5.5 seconds to get there. Without it, and it just default tack sprint, it was like 4.9. Maybe it was 5.3 to 4.9, but regardless, it was close to like half a second slower with Slipstream. But it's a trade-off because when you ADS from a full sprint, you don't have that penalty anymore that you get with normal tack sprint. You don't have that sprint to fire penalty. So
right.
Kind of a trade-off. Overall, yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about this. It looks clean too.
It does look fun.
And this is one of those things where like a lot of people argue both ways about, you know, tack sprint or removing tack sprint. Usually when you hear people talk about it, they say remove tack sprint. I don't care what we have as long as the movement's fast. So I think this would be a little bit better even if, say, like next year in the game, we just had this by default, but then also the movement speed of that Slipstream sprint speed was as fast as tack sprint speed now.
Yeah.
Because now it's just slower because they have to give a trade-off, obviously, because if it was the same speed, why would you not just run it? Because so you'd run the same amount of speed and then you wouldn't have a sprint to fire penalty.
Right,
so,
exactly, yeah.
But it looks clean. It seems fun. And yeah, I would totally be open to COD going back to this.
Yeah, for sure.
Totally fine with that. It looks good.
And it's also possible. I find it unlikely because let me write this down. But yeah, it's possible because we had no tack sprint sometime after MW19. It was Cold War, actually. Cold War did not have tack sprint. So like there is a world where we go away from tack sprint again. I don't know what the general consensus on tack sprint is, honestly. I feel like we have a pretty good idea of what most people think of most Call of Duty features. For example, everyone loves Ninja as a perk in multiplayer. I don't get it. I fucking hate that. I think it makes no sense. But that's what most people like. So like, okay, sure. And then whatever, snipers in Warzone. Most people fucking hate that. We know generally what people are thinking about random things. But tack sprint, I don't know. I have no idea what the common consensus is on whether they like it or not. Why don't you guys let us know now in chat? Is tack sprint a W or L? If you're on TikTok, is tack sprint a W or L? In Twitch chat, would you prefer tack sprint or not tack sprint in the future? Let us know. But I myself, yeah, I can absolutely do without it. I don't hate tack sprint. I don't think it's
same
terrible. but I don't think it adds enough to the game to be worth it. I'd rather just faster base movement speed, and let's have 2 movement speeds, walk and sprint. That's enough.
Yeah. I don't have a real strong opinion on it. It can go either way.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. But ultimately, it's like, if I don't care about some extra feature one way or another, I'm going to err on the side of simplify, condense, streamline, remove it. Like, if you add a feature and it doesn't add enough to where I'm like, I want to keep this, then it's not good enough to keep it. Just get rid of it, you know? So like with Omni movement, for example, I think that does add enough to where like I want to keep that. It does have some downsides, but overall I want to keep it. But like tack sprint, meh, I'm good.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me at all.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, that's like one positive thing, which is cool, that they've done.
Yeah.
And
I've been hearing a lot of good
work.
things about that. Yeah, cool. That works.
So
good for them.
Because it's in multiplayer, and multiplayer generally works pretty well, besides the anti-cheat. But Raven, nothing. I don't know what's going on there, but not much. Cocky Kev, the $10 super chat. Next time you threaten me with 10, I'm gonna give you a little 365. Laughing face. I understand that, Com. I don't.
It means he's gonna disappear for a year, is what he's saying.
Oh.
He's
okay.
gonna disappear for a year, yeah.
Got it. Okay. Kev,
Thanks,
thank you for
Kev.
the super chat, big dog.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. You're a beast. All right. Don't do a 365. But I will time your bitch ass out. Now, back to Twitter. Ghost of Hope tweeted.
So
tell me about this. Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
So he was responding to a tweet from He Who Shall Not Be Named.
Got it.
And then from there, Charlie Intel responded, and he says, "There's not been a single event or call that I have been invited to since Call of Duty Next."
Wow.
So COD Next was in. Let's get an exact date here.
That was
Call of Duty
September
Next 2024. It was on August 28th. So since August 28th and today, August 28th, 2024, February 15th, 2025.
Right.
Charlie Intel, essentially the online face of Warzone and Call of Duty, and has been for a few years now, has not been invited or heard of a single event or creator call.
Wow.
In that amount of time. If you guys have forgotten or maybe haven't been around, these calls used to be once or twice a season. Before every season came out, they would hop on a creator call. 100 or so streamers would get in there. They'd talk to them for a few hours. They'd let them ask questions. People would ask the same stupid question every time. Oh, when are you going to fix the shadow ban system? Oh, blah, blah. Just ridiculous
Twitter.
questions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody asked a good question one time, probably.
That's correct.
They did. But anyways.
They didn't.
These would happen before every season, and I think a lot of times mid-season. There's not been a single one since the launch of BO6. Since before the launch of BO6 even.
Yep.
So what's going on? And it makes me wonder if what Bobby Kotick said in that interview, the thing we were going over on Thursday, how Microsoft is essentially not as hands-on maybe as Activision was with them, with the studios, because he made that comment about the studios are kind of left to do what they want. What did he say again? Do you remember exactly what it was?
He said, what did he say? I can actually just pull it up.
Yeah, let me find the notes. Actually, I think that was one we just talked about.
There's no corporate infrastructure anymore, so it's back to all studios.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it makes me wonder, were they kind of doing these things because more the higher ups forced them to get
that's a good question.
Calls with these people and get feedback? Because why else would they not be doing it suddenly? It's like even during Cold War, I'm sure Treyarch did calls like this all the time. I know they did for Warzone. So why suddenly, after the Microsoft sale, are all these things just going so poorly?
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder if it's somehow related to that, whereas like the studios aren't forced to do these things, so they just don't. And then that leads to what we're dealing with right now.
Good question.
Which is them not knowing what to do with the game.
I don't know. It is.
Are they not happening, or is Charlie just getting blackballed? They are not happening.
No, they're not happening, because we would have heard about it. Like when this was going on, you would know a creator call happened, because if you had an internet connection, they would be telling you. They're like vegans or CrossFitters. They will tell you unprompted that it happened. So it's not, there was never, to my knowledge, there were never any, actually, this also would have leaked, secret creator calls. That didn't happen. Every time what happened is they would do the little creator call. I remember there was massive backlash about, I think it was either pre-Warzone 2 or before that even. There was going to be a new season, I think within Warzone 2 maybe. And there was a creator call, and every content creator that was involved was on Twitter, vague posting, spam tweeting about it. Like, oh, Call of Duty's cooking with this update. You guys are going to like, oh, Warzone is so fucking back. Fire emoji. And then the season dropped and it was total fucking ass. And then every one of those content creators got absolutely cooked. I don't remember when that was.
Iceman, Isaac, and Joe Woe every season for a whole year did that, yeah. It was Joe Woe's the one you're thinking of, though.
That was, I think, mid-season, or excuse me, mid-Warzone 2.
That was Season 2 or Season 2 Reloaded of Warzone 2. It was on Ashika. I remember the clip of Joe. He gets in there. He starts sliding around and running, and his jaw is at the floor, and he looks at the camera, and then he looks back at his monitor, and he's like, it feels exactly the same. It feels the same.
Because they said they were going to add a bunch of movement or whatever. And of course
he baited everybody by hyping it up, yeah.
Well, he believed the devs, which is mistake number one. He should know better. Rookie mistake. Never believe a Call of Duty dev, obviously. I mean, we learned this in 2020. But anyway. So the point there, though, is that even if Charlie Intel were blackballed, Joe Woe, Iceman Isaac, everyone else who's just doing tricks on it would have talked about it a lot. So they're not happening. It's a certainty that they're not happening. And then, the question is why? Like, something is very different at Raven.
So
that's obvious.
It can't just be Raven. It's something is. It
or
seems like
with
Treyarch
the
too. Like they're even not
infrastructure
communicating as much.
Yeah.
Because even like last year, so Raven's kind of in control of Warzone. That's what we always think. But last year when it was MW3's game, Sledgehammer's game. Think of all of the events and everything that we had for Warzone. Better events, better camo rewards, prestige camos, all that. We've had nothing like that this year. Nothing meaningful at all.
Right.
So again, it's like, this goes to show you that the multiplayer studio making the multiplayer version of the game that year, they're obviously involved in everything that goes on in Warzone too. Because last year we had a lot more communication about everything when it was Sledgehammer's year. We had more events when it was Sledgehammer's year. It's not like suddenly Raven just does the opposite the next year. So I think a lot of this too is like they're working together with another studio. And it's like, I don't know, maybe Raven and Treyarch just absolutely hate each other and they can't figure out how to work together or something. But and then what else did Charlie Intel say? He said, I just want people to know that they are not listening to our feedback. If others are invited, we got no idea. So it's not like they would necessarily listen to feedback before. Again, I feel like last year they actually kind of would. But
they would at least hear it.
They would at least hear it. Now they don't even know.
Yeah, right.
And this is... Do they even know Mountaineer's broken? Have they ever tweeted about it?
No, they haven't.
I'm going to check COD updates. They might actually genuinely not know that Mountaineer is broken because they aren't involved in the community like that anymore.
They don't do creator calls, and all they do is play Pokemon Go or Ocarina of Time or not DMZ, Plunder.
Yeah.
Yeah. One dev plays the game and it's Plunder. And he's Metaphor's little band slut.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. He's the only dev that's ever played Warzone this year. And it's Plunder. So it doesn't, he's using a default perk package probably, by the way. So yeah, he's not running Mountaineer. So of course he wouldn't know.
Because I don't remember what it was, but at one point during Warzone 2, I remember after one of those creator calls, I think it was Isaac or somebody else mentioned there was a problem with Warzone at the time, and I can't remember which specific bug he was talking about. But he said how they brought it up at the creator call, and Infinity Ward was not even aware that it was a bug, and it had been in the game for like well over a month. And I wish I remembered what it was, but these are the things that happen at those calls, and that genuinely might be why they don't know Mountaineer's even broken, if they don't know. Because they don't talk to anybody, they don't play the game, they don't test it. So these things just happen, and they have no clue. They have no clue what's going on.
All of that, and they are probably, I'm so sorry, I almost said probably. They are so overwhelmed with the number of bugs still in the game that they're getting tweeted, hey, Mountaineer doesn't work. But it's too much. It's just, there's too much on their plate.
Yeah,
it's all fallen off.
Uh-huh.
So, like, yeah, I don't know, man. But it's the lack of creator calls is something I didn't really think about.
Yeah.
Because when you don't see that people are tweeting COD is so back or whatever, fire emoji, you don't realize, you don't notice like a lack of something usually. So like I didn't really think about there not being creator calls. But I wonder if that is a symptom of what's going on or a consequence of what's going on. But it's probably just a symptom. They're just not working on this game. That's ultimately what's happening. Because Raven didn't experience massive layoffs or anything, or all the teams, whatever, working on Warzone. They either got, well, no, they just must have gotten refocused on whatever the next project is to the detriment of the current project, which is kind of what always happens, but it usually doesn't happen this early.
Yeah.
Because every year, like since Warzone has launched 5 years ago, the timeline would be new game comes out. They spend a ton of time on the current game, multiplayer and Warzone, talk about it a lot, tweet about it a lot, community updates about it a lot, add a lot of content. And then by like season 3, they just stop. Like they'll add 2 multiplayer maps every season and some guns, maybe a perk here and there, and that's it. But this year, they have stopped much earlier. I mean, they stopped communicating with us about like their plans or whatever pretty fucking early. We did get that community update pre-season 2, which counts, but that's kind of it. And then because this was such a disaster of a launch, we're not even getting new content by season 2. So then season 3 is going to come out. It's probably where a lot of their focus is on redesigning or getting ready to launch Verdansk.
Yep.
But the game's not going to be ready. It's just not going to be ready by season 3. So maybe Verdansk, the map, will be ready, but they should not do it. And I do wonder if they're going to delay it.
I can see them delaying it.
They genuinely should.
Yeah.
They really fucking should. But will they? I don't know.
Because we also don't know the exact date. So it could very well be delayed, but it be more of an internal delay. So we never know. Because their plan might be, or it might have been, or it might be right now, that they're going to launch it. They're going to drop Verdansk and launch a season 3. But maybe now it's like they're pushing it back to season 3 reloaded. Who knows? Because, I mean, we could very well be like 30 days out or so, and we've heard nothing about it. I saw on Twitter somebody was asking J God that too. Like, when do you think it's going to come out? And he's like, I don't know. they haven't said anything about it at all. So I'm leaning more towards like season 3 Reloaded at this point because we've heard nothing about it. By the way, I searched and COD Updates has not once tweeted about Mountaineer. Every single time they tweet anything, there are numerous comments on it that says fix Mountaineer. They say they ask any updates on Mountaineer, things like that. There's one from 2 days ago from T Captain X where he said, any updates on Mountaineer? And I just thought this was funny. The first response to his comment says they also haven't fixed the SR demotion protection. Lost SR last night while I had the daily demotion protection available. Patch notes say they fixed that.
Right.
Got it. So I think we had talked about that on Thursday. That may or may not be fixed. It's not fixed. I don't know what else to say. They don't do anything correctly. What is happening? It's fucking wild.
It's a disaster.
It's such a disaster.
It's from a quality assurance standpoint, Warzone's never been this bad, actually. I don't think. Maybe in Warzone 1. Maybe. But I'm not sure. I don't think so, honestly. Like in Warzone 1, the problem was a new patch would come out and it would have no fixes that it should.
Yeah.
But they at least wouldn't lie about it, whereas now we get patches where there aren't enough fixes in the patch notes, but everything in the patch notes is also iffy on whether it's real or not. That I don't recall happening in Warzone 1. I'm sure it did a couple times, not like this though. There is never ever for sure so I guess from a quality assurance standpoint, it's never been this bad because they're putting out patch notes that are not true all the fucking time. All the time. So, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I wonder if it's like Microsoft came in and was like, all right, Treyarch, Raven, and Demonware, you guys are in charge of Warzone equally. Hope that helps. And then they bounced. So now there's a diffusion of responsibility where no one's job is on the line because no one's in charge. So no one fucking cares if anything works or not. Whereas maybe before it was like, all right, Raven, you're the primary team. And then you'll have Demonware and whoever the fuck, Toys for Jill, helping you. But Raven, you're in charge. So Ted Timmons specifically is the guy who will get the phone call if an update is season 2 of this game, for example. Maybe that's lacking now. And so no one cares. There's no one who's ultimately responsible. So everyone kind of like tries to chip in or whatever, and it's a fucking mess. That's one theory. I don't know. It could be any number of things, but it's not working. And we are not on track for Verdansk. Fuck no, we're not on track for Verdansk at all. And it's going to be a massive missed opportunity. Because at this pace, even if it came season 3 Reloaded or season 4, it still would be way too buggy for Verdansk. I mean, the number of bugs that have been fixed versus lied about versus never even talked about and still not fixed versus new ones reintroduced since the launch of this game, it hasn't gotten less buggy. It's gotten more buggy, the game, genuinely. It's just it's gotten more playable because the severity of the bugs that have been fixed was very high. Very high. So like the game's more playable now, but not because it's less buggy. It's probably actually more buggy. It's just the bugs now are not as bad as I can't hold a gun. Yeah. That's my guess. And keep in mind, remember, we did get new bugs with season 2, right? There are going to be way worse new bugs and way more of them when season 3 comes or whenever Verdansk comes out, because it's going to be a whole new map that will introduce so many bugs. And by the way, what is one of the most common bugs that we see every single time there's a new Warzone map? Players under it shooting you.
Yes, they'll be fixing players under the map in Verdansk right up until we get Avalon.
Yeah, exactly. It won't work until we get a new map, and then it'll start not working again, the sequel, because we've had this map for 18 months and there are still people right now. Someone right now is shooting a streamer under the map for SR.
Yeah.
As I speak. It's literally still a problem on a map we've had for 18 months.
They're playing console rank though, so it's not an issue.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. So if they can't figure it the fuck out in 18 months, I think it's like 16 or 15 months, whatever, over a year, then they're certainly not going to figure it out ever when Verdansk comes out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm just sad about it, man. I'm really sad about it because it would have been, because it's a foregone conclusion, it would have been such a good opportunity to bring so many people back and have 10 to 20% of them actually stick and play for another year or so.
Yeah. And that would have happened if they brought it back last year, by the way. 1 year, if they brought it back 1 year ago during MW3, that would have happened because the game was in a much better spot.
It was at an excellent spot. Not perfect, really but an excellent spot. Yeah. Warzone was in a really good spot last year. The biggest complaint last year for Warzone was we could have used more new content.
Yeah.
But that means the base of the game, the fundamentals were there, which they were. But
yeah,
what I would give to be bored with a stale game rather than bored with a stale game. I'm dead to a cheater. There's another guy under the wall. I can't hear him, even though I would have heard him last season. And I did in fact lose SR, even though I didn't mean to. Gas grenades also.
Yep.
Which I died to today. I was playing unranked like a fucking idiot. Yeah.
Good old gas grenades.
It's just, yeah, I mean, really bad news. Really terrible stuff. So, we got Omni Movement, though.
Yeah.
Imagine dying under the map with Omni Movement. That's what I always say.
Do you think they're ever Omni moving under the map?
That's a great question. I don't know. That's a great question, though, yeah.
Do you think they're ever spin botting underneath the map while also Omni moving?
With Omni Movement?
That would go crazy.
That would go bonkers. Yeah. And walls, obviously. Yeah, that would be fun.
They're also walling. Yeah. That
would be fun.
They're also cross-play off, by the way, on a console doing all that.
Yeah, yes. Right. Exactly.
And then another guy commented on the original Charlie Intel tweet. They asked, do you think the game is perfect? Oh, do they think the game is perfect or something? And then again, Charlie Intel's like, I don't know since I don't really talk to anyone there anymore. Which, yeah, is weird. Because he was always very communicative with those people.
Yeah.
And then he also got on his personal, basically.
Yeah, he's like the biggest COD Twitter account, I think, right? Charlie Intel's got to be one of the biggest.
Based on just followers, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Community outreach.
Then he got on his personal too, basically said the same thing. There's actually not been any feedback type events since Call of Duty Next. Just no feedback loop at all for this year, and it shows in the state of the game so far. And then back to Absolute or whoever asked about maybe Charlie Intel is just not getting invited. COD Munity, who's Warzone loadout, they started getting invited to things last year as well. And he said, same, not a single briefing call like we used to have last year before every update. So it is definitely just there's nothing happening. You would hear it from somebody.
You would,
Joe Will, Isaac,
1,000%.
J God. Obviously, somebody would be invited to these things, and you would hear. So,
yeah, of course.
Yeah, they're just not doing any of that this year whatsoever. Clearly.
Swag, 100%.
And if they
is invited to everything.
Yes. And if they don't do one pre-Verdansk, that's going to be very odd. And that's going to worry me lots. If there's one time out of this year you'd think they would do some sort of creator call, it would be 2 weeks before Verdansk drops, right? They would show it off to streamers, maybe even invite them out to play it early.
Yeah, exactly.
Stuff like that, hype it up. So if we don't start hearing about that by March 15th, I don't know, that makes me expect even less. Because it's like they would be worried about something.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think they will fly people out to test it, though. Because that's one thing they have done recently. I don't remember what it was about, but they did they get flued. Some people got flued out there.
That was... Some people did a little flight. That was something dumb, like... Wasn't that like to promote an event or something?
I don't remember what it was. Oh, Squid Games. It was the Squid Games event.
To promote an event. Yeah, that's all it was for.
Right.
Because everyone was like, cool, you guys are flying creators out to play this stupid new event when your game is in fucking shambles. Got it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if they did get flown out for Verdansk. It would be amazing if they didn't do that.
Yeah.
It would be amazing.
You would think that, huh?
Yeah. So you could actually probably base the timeline on the launch of Verdansk by when your favorite streamer starts saying on live streams, oh, can't talk about it, but yeah, I had to take a break for 3 days. Can't talk about it, but
yeah.
And they're all excited or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, all the big streamers aren't online this week. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. When this happens, because I think they will get flown out to test Verdansk. I can't imagine them not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
When that happens and all the streamers come back and they're vague posting and Charlie Intel makes a tweet of a swag clip from his stream where he goes, yo, chat, I don't know, man, but I'm really excited or whatever. Or COD is so fucking back soon or whatever the fuck. You can't believe these streamers. You really can't. Do not believe them.
Mm-mm.
They've done it before. No. We just talked about it with Joe and Icicle Man Isaac. They were on the creator call for season 3, whatever, of Warzone 2, and the game was ass, obviously. Yeah. And by the way, I don't entirely blame the streamers for this. If I got a call from from Ted Timmons or whoever, and they're like, hey, we will fly you out, all expense paid, to our whatever studio. You'd stay at a nice hotel and then like play whatever, Verdansk, play test it, and then like go back and sign this NDA. You can't talk about it, but you can vague post about it, obviously. It would be hard to not get swept up in that. Like, I get it. You're there. You're not at your own setup, so you're like, this feels kind of weird, but it's not my computer. I'm not used to it, whatever. You can kind of like brush it aside. You're meeting all these other streamers. You're whatever. Just have like... You're in the whole moment. They're giving you fucking goodie bags, caviar. You're shaking hands, recording exclusive YouTube content. It would be fun. And I could see getting swept up in that and not seeing all of the glaring flaws that will be there.
Yeah.
So when they come back, they're going to be excited. And it's going to be Verdansk, so they're going to have the genuine nostalgia. No matter how bad the game is, as long as you can load in, which may or may not be possible. We'll see. They're gonna be very excited about it. And I don't even fully blame them for that because I totally understand getting swept up in all that horseshit. But also they're incentivized to hype it up. They also feel some kind of obligation to not shit all over it. You might feel like kind of an asshole if you got an all expense paid trip to Santa Monica to like play their game. You get an exclusive video that's going to get you a bunch of ad revenue on YouTube. You'd kind of feel like a dick just piss shitting and farting all over it if it's really bad. So like you also feel that reciprocity kind of demand. So when that happens, you guys cannot get swept up in that with them. Okay. You have objectivity. You don't have all of these competing interests, and you have hindsight. Remember how many times this has happened? All the time. All the time. Because guess what? People got flown out to play Warzone 2. I don't believe it was before everyone else saw it. I think it was at COD Next Live. But a lot of those people had very good things to say about it. Until the game launched. And then they played it for more than an hour or 3. And they were like, oh, actually, now I understand it now. This shit's ass.
To be fair, most of them were worried when they played the beta. I remember that they were worried, but they're like, they have time to fix a lot of things. That was the thought was, the game's not great and things need to be fixed, but we have like a month and a half, 2 months before it launches, so it'll be fun.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't think anybody
remember most
genuinely
people
enjoyed
saying
it.
that, but
That's definitely what
you.
it was. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Most people were thinking that.
Okay, sure. Regardless, especially because there's going to be that nostalgia thing.
Mm-hmm.
Between like the getting flown out and like they're going to be on Verdansk again and that prop. By the way, a lot of these streamers who will be flown out, their fucking lives changed when Verdansk came out. How many Warzone streamers popped because of Verdansk and COVID? So that map is just going to bring a lot of good memories and dopamine to their little 22-year-old brains, or 25 probably now. And they're gonna hype it up no matter what the quality of it is. So when that happens, we will be here to rain on that parade, because when the parade float comes, it's gonna be a rainy fucking day. I guarantee that. So just don't believe them when you see those clips on Twitter, which you will.
Yeah.
And they will be very excited. And they will be wrong. Unless we're getting Verdansk Season 6. Then maybe the game will function by then. Although even at this pace, I doubt that. But barring that, don't get excited. They will be excited. They will vague post positively. And they will be wrong. And everyone will realize it when it launches. So just remember that.
Yeah.
So.
And then I don't really know if you want to cover this or not. This next thing here is just a video of some guy that looked yacked up, but apparently he wasn't. I don't know. Did you hear
Let's
about
take
this?
a look at this guy. So I don't know what this is, but I like a good hackusation.
Okay. So let's pull this up. Some guy named Jay De La Berta
change it.
Tweeted out a video of some other guy. I assume some wager kid. I'd never heard of him. Clumziy. Oh, he's not from North America. That's why I've never heard of him. Clumziy. So he tweeted, has anyone else noticed Clumziy hitting consistent chest/groin shots with this strange jittery aim? Seems like his AA is a bit stickier than normal too. What do you guys think? Is it skill or is there something else going on here? Recently won a $10,000 tournament, by the way. So yeah, let's watch this.
Let's take a little.
I've got some thoughts on it.
Okay. So this guy is on controller with aim assist.
And he's a wager kid. And if you guys are on TikTok and want to see the gameplay, this doesn't show up on TikTok, right? You guys will have to come to.
No, it shows up on TikTok.
They can see. Oh, okay, cool. All right.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. You guys can see it. Hold on.
Is he cheating? 3, 2, 1, play. So we're on area 99.
I got one.
Okay, that first clip is bog standard.
I got one.
Second clip is bog standard.
This is bog standard here. Well, a little bit.
Fairly sticky, but that's, okay. I mean, definitely
it starts
possible.
Getting a little crazy here. Not this one, the next one. That's also a little crazy
looking. That was
looking,
pretty fucking nuts. Yeah. Okay, that's pretty nuts.
You want to watch that one? You want to go back there and watch that one?
That roof to roof one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's take a look.
Back and watch that a little bit.
Let's watch this again.
It's hard to tell because the quality is so bad on Twitter.
Oh, he's got his monitor cam too.
Yeah. From that range though, it's just crazy looking.
I'm gonna watch it again here.
It's crazy looking.
I mean, let me. Okay, he is strafing, so he's engaging full rotational.
Yeah, got it. I didn't put that together. I didn't really notice that.
So,
yeah, he is.
That
strafing.
looks nuts, but aim assist often looks nuts.
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't say this is conclusive, but a little sussy.
The very next clip too, the MP5 clip. That one, if you play on like 0.25 or something, looks wild because this guy is omni moving. By the way, this guy he's shooting at, he's omni moving. He does an immediate like stop. He's sliding one direction. He does an immediate stop, starts going right back. He just never misses a shot. They just all hit the guy right in the chest. Does not miss anything.
Yeah, that looks.
That looks crazy to me. That looks yacked up.
That looks.
And the next clip too, with the
aim
pistol,
assist
he
to me.
looks yacked the fuck up. All those shots as he's jumping backwards and the other guy's jumping, it looks so sus.
First floor, right up. 20.
Uh,
Got him.
I don't think this guy is cheating so far, honestly.
Yeah. Wow.
It's just aim assist is this insane. Yeah. So for those of you listening, by the way, Tanner plays on keyboard and mouse. I used to, but because of this, I switched to controller because you can't compete with this if you're a human being without aim assist. So I switched to it. Yeah, like this clip looks, yeah.
Most of them don't look sus. It was mostly that pistol. Oh, this one's kind of crazy.
That one's crazy,
I didn't watch this far. I don't know what you're at, but like 110 is crazy. That's
I'm just watching through the
wild.
whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you get to 110 on the guy sliding, looks yacked up to me. 100% looks yacked up.
Yeah, it does look that way. Yeah. I mean, well, it looks like cheating, but I know it's aim assist because aim assist also looks like cheating. So, is what I mean.
When I first saw this, it was from this tweet where this guy was calling him out, right? So I didn't know any other opinions at the time. I thought without a doubt in my mind, like, yeah, this guy's obviously cheating. And then I started looking through the comments and everyone's like, oh my God, bro, delete this. He's not cheating. He's been playing against pros for years, dumbass, etc. Shit like that. And then this one girl who like puts on all the tournaments, Miss Know-It-All. There's some guy that she knows that does PC checks on a lot of these players. He's caught cheaters. He kind of frees cheater or people that were accused of cheating. He clears their name. So this guy got PC checked and he passed. They check a bunch of things like all these window files. You guys listening don't know what any of it means, and I don't either. But essentially, he checks through all these old files. He can tell if things have been deleted. He can see what has been loaded through USB drives. He can see programs that have ran in the past on the computer. He can see logs, all sorts of different things. And he said this guy is super clear. And it's just crazy to me because I thought without a doubt that guy was 100% cheating.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either. The only clip there that looked sus to me, because, and this is how strong aim assist is, all of those should look sus. But knowing what I do about Call of Duty aim assist, and as a Call of Duty aim assist abuser myself, all of them look bog standard. Well, it looks like the guy's pretty good, but they look pretty normal for someone who is good and always has that left stick moving to engage rotational aim assist, except for that roof to roof clip. That looks pretty fucking nuts, but I mean, you can get that with aim assist. Anything's possible with aim assist, honestly. So like if he did a PC check or whatever, and that's the best evidence you have, maybe Cronus, because that I don't think would show up on a PC check. I don't know. I don't use Cronus because I'm not a cunt.
It's only you physically plug into the computer that would show up.
Right.
It's
okay.
a USB device.
Oh, that makes sense. So you check the device manager, yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, unfortunately,
yeah,
I think he's cheating.
See,
I think he's just good.
I honestly thought you would also think this guy was hacked up, but yeah, it's okay.
It looks like that because aim assist is overpowered massively. So you guys should all switch to controller like I did. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, a few of those, it's just, yeah, it's disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
But it is what it is.
I think it's just, now that there's omni movement, it's more noticeable now sometimes. Because people can move really quick, but the aim assist is still there, baby. So, like, Warzone 3, the aim assist was stronger, but not far away. It was the same strength at, like, that rooftop to rooftop clip. The aim assist before and now is exactly the same at that range. We went over this. Shout out to that guy. He was in chat that time. He made a very good little diagram. Anyway, so aim assist in that like rooftop to rooftop, the same as before, but the guy he was shooting, you can't move as fast before. So now when he moves really quick and the aim assist fucking stays on him, it looks even more like a cheat. It kind of is, but but he's not. I don't
Yeah,
think he's cheating. No,
it's one of those things again where like Omni movement would be a lot cooler if you could outplay people, but it's like that clip is just disgusting where there's a guy, he jumps, goes straight into a slide, immediately stops the slide, goes back the other direction.
Yeah.
I mean,
At
like obviously you
pods?
can't humanly react that quickly, and it's just he never misses a shot.
yeah,
And that's where it's extremely overpowered, is just not having to react whatsoever in a situation like that, where you're already getting shots on him, you see him sliding, and then he moves back. It's just, yeah,
right.
that pisses me off a lot.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, cool. Well, that's fun. I
Yeah.
love seeing those videos.
Yeah.
Fuck, it makes
Yeah.
me want to load up the game.
And yeah, the guy, by the way, the accuser that said his aim looks jittery. I
didn't see anything that was jittery. Nothing.
I don't know what
was
that
an odd
means
way
at
to
all.
Describe it. Nothing
Yeah.
was jittery.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't think so either. Yeah, it looks pretty. Unfortunately, it looks pretty box standard. Yeah, aim assist is balanced though, guys.
Yeah.
And once again, if you're a good controller player, you should want less strong aim assist because everyone you play against also uses controller, and if you're good, then you can out aim them more often with weaker aim assist. Needs some, doesn't need to be that fucking strong, where you can't tell if it's a cheat or not. So, and we've beaten this to death, but
Beat
yeah.
this to death. Yeah.
He pulls out his cock. Anyway, that's pretty much it. I hate to say it.
I'm not sure how we went that long. Yeah.
Yeah, just not much
Figured
going
it out.
on. I will say, today was miserable for Warzone, for me. A lot of no audio deaths. No bugs I ran into today. Actually, that's wrong. I'm so sorry. I was not tactically sprinting with my knife out. A day one bug, by the way. That they said they fixed in season 2, by the way, which they, of course, didn't. But besides, no crazy bugs that I ran into today. But I died to a gas grenade that I wouldn't have died if they didn't have gas grenades. That bugged the fuck out of me. And then a lot of no audio deaths that wouldn't have happened last season. So it's just no excuse for it. But you know, before that I was playing some ranked and it was fun. And on topic of the Patreon, by the way, as far as announcements go, because that is pretty much it. We didn't record one on Friday. I was dead tired. I woke up at like 1 o'clock and just could not fall back asleep. So, and I mean, nothing's going on really anyway. So I said, let's just record it another time. Maybe we'll at least get some news to cover or something in the meantime. So we'll definitely, absolutely record something next week for all of our patrons. Patreon.com/thedropshot. Best way to support the show. Ad-free episodes, early access episodes, and bonus episodes. And look, if we don't get much more new content or news, which seems likely, we might fuck around with some zombs and do a little bonus ep on that. Because I have not played the Tomb at all yet. I think Tanner's played it one time.
I played it one time, yeah.
Yeah, so that could be interesting. But let us know what you guys think. We could do a lot on Twitter, or excuse me, on Patreon. So, yeah. Bring back Verdansk. Hashtag Imagine Verdansk with Omni Movement. Hashtag Activision devs do not play their own game.
No, they don't.